Today on Gear and Review, we're going to be looking at the Epihpone Vintage G-400. It is basically a replica of a 62 Gibson SG. Now I must tell you that I was sent this guitar by American Music Supply, and I have been allowed to keep it in exchange for doing the product review. I want to start off by saying, first off, that like a lot of you guys, I had a bad taste in my mouth about import guitars from Korea, China, Indonesia, insert your country here, because of, some of the stuff that we, received back in the 80s and early to mid, back in the 80s and the early 90s. Now that being said, fast forward to today, it's a different game. It's a totally different scenario. A lot of the stuff that's coming out of Korea and Indonesia and China, a lot of that stuff is coming out. It's pretty good, especially like the Epihpone. Not exactly sure. This one comes out of China. I've noticed that over the years, Epihpone has really gotten a lot better. This is a really good guitar, and when I say it's a really good guitar, I don't mean it's a good guitar for an import, and I don't mean it's good for Epihpone. I mean, this is a good guitar. It's set up really nicely, it intonated really nicely, it's got a good tone. The pickups, even though they're stock pickups, sound good. I mean, as with anybody, a lot of times us as guitar players, we're going to snatch the pickups out anyway. But these pickups actually sound really good. It's a solid mahogany body. It appears to be one piece, which really amazed me, being, that it was an import guitar. It appears to be one piece mahogany. We've got, we've got your normal usual suspects with the Tunematic bridge and stop tailpiece. This thing has mother of pearl trapezoid inlays, which is really nice. Grover tuners, which they're very smooth. They feel really good, and it's about a 14:1 ratio in those tuners. They work really well though. Your normal, 2 volumes, 2 tones, 3-way toggle, just as you would find on any SG. You have your teardrop. It's not actually a teardrop. That's just what I call it. But you have the partial pick guard or the teardrop pick guard instead of like what you would find on a standard. The pickups in this are called Alnico Classics, and you get an Alnico Classic in the neck, and you get an Alnico Classic Plus in the bridge. The pickups have a really nice tone to them. They clean up really well, and they growl pretty well. So I mean, you kind of can't go wrong with them. With most SGs, you get some of the, whether or not you like an SG or not really depends on, if you like SGs, because an SG guitar has a very distinctive sound, and I don't know if it has to do with the combination of the wood in conjunction with the shape or what, because every SG I've ever played from any company, no matter what pickups are in it, they all have this sort of mid-rangey hump to it that even sometimes can be a little nasally, but it's, in a way, with this guitar, it works. I mean, it sounds good. It gives it a very aggressive, very kind of growly sound, and it's like I said, I find that most SGs sound this way, so I don't know if it has something to do with the way they're put together, or if it's, if I'm crazy and I'm not really hearing what I think I'm hearing. I think it would have been nice if we'd have had a little bit of binding on the neck, but for $300 or more accurately, for $299, you really can't complain about there not being binding. It's a slim tapered neck, D profile, very comfortable. It's a very fast neck, very easy to play. A lot of your cheaper guitars, price-wise, not quality, but a lot of your cheaper guitars, you tend to feel like you're fighting the instrument in order to play it. You don't really get this with this. And as I stated earlier, the really good thing about it is, I don't care how a guitar plays when I first pull it off the shelf because, to be honest with you, most guitars right off the shelf, for the way I like my guitar set up, don't feel or play well. Um, my Paul Reed Smith, first thing I did when I got it was I sent it off and had it set up. So, that being said, what I look for in a guitar is, does it set up well? You know what I mean? Is there anything that's wrong with this thing as to where it's not gonna intonate well? It's not gonna let the neck's not gonna get adjusted well. The fretwork is not gonna be good. So that's what I'm looking for in a guitar. This guitar set up great. It intonated great. The fretwork was pretty good. And it just plays really well. The only thing that I did different on the guitar, only thing I did different to this guitar than would be on one if you ordered the exact same thing, is because I'm left-handed, I did have a new nut filed and I had the guitar strung lefty. That's the only thing that I've changed. So everything you hear in this demo is going to be just this guitar, and with no tricks or anything done to it, stock pickups, stock electronics, the whole nine. For the demo, we're going to be using my Megatone Mega 30 amplifier. I'll also be using a Wampler Sovereign distortion pedal, an EWS Eric Gales group drive. I'll be using a MXR carbon copy delay and a TC Electronics Corona chorus, and I will actually indicate at which time I'm using what. What I'm going to do there is I'm going to go through all the three different positions of the toggle switch. I'm going to do it one clean, and I want to do one with distortion. So you can get just an idea of the tonal quality of just the instrument, nothing else coloring it. Bridge we got on drive. Now what we're going to do is just give you a bunch of little sound samples so you can hear how this thing plays. I want to say that it sustains really well and it has a really good tone. And I know I probably already said that, but at the price point that this guitar comes at, I really feel like this can be, of course you could use it as a beginner guitar for someone who's just starting, that goes without saying, but I really feel like this is a guitar that, I'm keeping mine. So I think this is a guitar that you can give to anybody, and once I gave this guitar set up, or had it set up, this guitar plays almost as good as my Paul Reed Smith, and you're talking about almost a difference of a couple of grand difference in the prices of these. You're talking about 35 as opposed to 300. So yeah, and just what I set up, I'm actually pleasantly surprised and quite amazed at how well this thing played when I got it. It's kind of shocking. But I'm gonna let you hear these sound samples and see what you think. I'm Gillen H2O. This has been Gear and Review, and today's review has been of the Epihpone Vintage, almost said the wrong word, the Epihpone Vintage G400. If you try to look this one up on certain sites, sometimes it comes up as vintage, sometimes it comes up as faded. I've checked the specs on them, and it looks to me, and I could be wrong, but it looks to me like the faded and the vintage are really one and the same. The website right now says faded. The box and the label from the distribution company says vintage. So, you know, either way, vintage or faded, I think these things play great, they look great, they sound good, they've got quality hardware on them, and I don't think you can go wrong with one for $300. So anyway, as I said before, this is Gillen H2O, this has been Gear and Review, this has been the awesome Epihpone Vintage G400.